Here we're going to learn about equations with variables on both sides. Okay, so this is different than what we've seen before because up until now we've only seen equations with variables on one side of the equation. Okay, but here's the deal. In order to solve equations with variables on both sides, you're going to first simplify each side. If there's any distributing or combining like terms to do on one side or the other, you do that first before you start moving things around. Okay, after each side is simplified, then you give the variable to one side. And then you do what we've been doing, right? Which is you isolate the variable. To solve, right? When we isolate the variable, that's when we get the variable by itself. So like x equals the number, x equals 5, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do two examples, and I'm going to show you that you can do each of them in two ways, right? And you're going to see what I mean. So here's 8x plus 9 equals 4x minus 7. Okay, so we take a look at this equation, and here's the thing. There's no simplifying to do. These are not like terms. You can't combine them, right? These are not like terms. You can't combine them. So we're already on step 2, which is to get the variable to one side of the equation. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, I notice that there's an 8x over here, so I can get rid of that 8x, and then there won't be a variable on the left. Or there's a 4x over here, so I can get rid of the 4x, and then there won't be a variable on the right. So, like, let's say I decide on the 4x. Right? And what I'm going to show you in a second is that I could decide the other way too and get the same answer. And I want you to really like understand and see that. Like I could have chosen to subtract 8x from both sides. Because either way, I'm taking the variable off one side of the equation, right? Here, I'm taking it off the left side by making this 0, right? 8x minus 8x is 0. I'm getting rid of that variable. Over here, 4x minus 4x is 0, so I'm getting rid of it over there. But over here, let's finish this one. This is, careful here, right? This is a minus 7, so this is negative 7. Okay, and now I'm going to get the variable by itself. Okay, so I noticed that I have multiplication and addition, so I'm just going to do what I always do, which is deal with addition and subtraction first. This is negative 7 minus 9. This is, I have 7 holes in my boat, another 9 holes in my boat. I have no patches. I have a total of 16 holes negative. I'm going to get x by itself by dividing by 4. This is negative divided by positive is negative. 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. Okay, and then let me just show you, Let me just show you had I done it this way, I would have gotten 9 equals 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Okay, and then I would have gotten x by itself, right? So here I'm going to get rid of addition and subtraction first. Okay, and then this x is being multiplied by negative 4, so I would have divided by negative 4. And I get positive divided by negative is negative, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And notice that I get the same answer, okay? So each of these ways is totally fine. Now what you might notice is that in a particular situation, one way might just be like easier, right? Like, I don't know, in this case, like I ended up with a positive 4 here. Over here I ended up with a negative 4. So, you know, if that matters to you, then you can kind of look for the easier way. I'm going to do one more example, and again, we're going to do it in both ways, just so you can really see. Okay, so this example is a little longer. All right, let's take a look. Okay, now here, remember, we have to simplify each side first, and here there actually is some simplifying to do, right? There's some like terms over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do, this is 6x minus 5x. So 6 minus 5 is 1. You could write 1x, or you could just write x. If you want to put a 1 in front of it, totally fine, right? I know for a lot of you, it's like just easier to visualize it. That's totally okay. And then 10 and 1 are also like terms. So this becomes 1x plus 11 equals, and I want to make sure I don't forget this negative here, right? Negative 7x minus 13. Okay? And here I'm actually going to go ahead and Write it twice because, again, I want to show you that it doesn't matter which side I move. Okay, but I want to show you there's also, like, sometimes there's an easier side. Like, for example, here. This is positive, this is negative. Look, if I add 7x to both sides, to get rid of, this is right, this is minus 7x. If I do plus 7x, I do the opposite. This is 8x plus 11 equals negative 13. So I have positive 8 there. It's kind of nice. Okay, on the flip side, I could do minus 1x, right? And I would get 11 equals, this is negative 7 minus 1. That's 7 holes in my boat. Another hole in my boat, 8 total holes. Okay, and we see we end up with a negative here. Doesn't matter, right? Sort of either way is correct. Okay, but let's just go ahead and solve. I get 8x equals negative 24. Divide by 8. And I get negative 3. Okay? And of course, the same answer over here. Right? And I want you to really, and I know it seems tedious to write this down, and I don't want you to do each practice problem 2 ways, right? That's definitely not what I'm looking for. But I do want you to just see it on these examples, that it doesn't matter which side you move the variable to. Okay? So that's it. So here are your practice problems. So you're going to write these down, you're going to do them right now, okay? You're just going to write them on the next page. So for the blue team, that's page 27. For the green team, it's page 26 that you're going to write these practice problems. Okay? But go ahead and copy them down neatly. Number 1, 2x plus 7 equals 12x minus 13. Okay? Leave yourself some space there, right? Maybe leave like 6 or 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 2. Okay, and you're just solving each of these one way. You don't need to use both ways. If you're feeling like unsure and you want to do it a second way and see if you get the same answer, that's a good strategy. You can also just go ahead and plug the x back in. Okay, there's number 2. Negative x plus 14 equals negative 9x minus 1 plus 3x. Okay, notice there's some combining like terms to do over here. And then give yourself some space. Okay, and then here's your last one. Okay, now this one's just longer because I want you to be able to take everything you know and just be organized enough to get it all in one problem. Okay, but you're gonna, right here, it's like you're gonna simplify the side. You're gonna distribute, bring it down neatly. You're gonna combine like terms, bring it down neatly. Right, same deal over here. You're gonna distribute, bring it down neatly. And the equation will just slowly get shorter and shorter. Okay, practice those 3.